is there, and of course it's we're gearing up to the holidays, and we figured since it's the holidays we need to talk about what happens during the holidays. And it is our strong belief that during the holidays is when if you're in a relationship, you get to know if you are a priority or an option. You get to know where you stand or sit, and the holiday jitters are already kicking in. Roy is already coughing. That means it's okay. Get it all out.
I'm just trying to mentally sort out who's who.
All right, of course, Sheila Komoka is here with us, and Roy Karuhize. So, option or priority? Are you
okay?
Yeah.
You keep reminding me that mapema.
You know, sasa tena kusema so lesikia nikikoha kwa TV. Sasa nilikwambia mimi ni mgonjwa. I won't make it. I will not make it for this particular holiday. So this is the time when those who are quote unquote clan days, or those who thought they were the number one, realize that oops, I'm number two.
Yeah.
They don't realize.
I think this is something that you always know.
Okay.
I think if it's something you're going to realize in December, I know it's going to be a hard, painful lesson, but it's one that you either way need to know at the end of the day. But I think festive season is that time where you reevaluate and re-strategize how you're going to move up the ladder in 2018.
Up which ladder?
Up the ladder.
Which ladder?
Find yourself a permanent situation.
Easy tunatumia lift. Malada.
Hakuna ladder. Unafika top floor haraka.
Yeah, we just go straight to the top. And it's very basic. You talked about priority and option.
Right.
I don't know why one is an option and one's a priority. There are two different kinds of priorities. It's not that there's an option. It's as Sheila said it, if you're the one who's realizing now where you stand in a relationship, you're the problem.
Yeah.
Yes. The other day we had a footballer with an accent who came, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Thierry Henry.
Thierry Henry.
Most guys kept saying, "We are here live with Thierry Henry."
No, that's your voice.
No, that's what people are saying. I'm just saying.
Don't try and act like your voice is someone else.
On behalf of them.
Okay. Very simply, the guy talked about. There's a very pertinent question that was posed to him about who's better. Is it Ronaldo? Is it Messi?
Right.
And he talked about dessert. And he said different. Some people like the dessert with the custard. Some people don't like it with the custard.
In custard, eh?
In the custard.
Okay.
So the problem being the fact that we like our meals in different places and no meal is different. And also some people like the joy of eating. Some people like the joy of swallowing. Some people like the joy of chewing. Yeah. Kuna wengine wanatafuta na that's their joy. So basically it's where you sit and where you like your relationship and where you're comfortable with the relationship. Even you as a no, don't laugh it off. If this is the role you've decided to play, if you're you're the side chick, or they call you the side chick, because you can teach you as a first woman, but in reference on the paper you're the side chick, and throughout the year you're enjoying yourself.
Okay.
Yes, you've enjoyed yourself. Christmas is not your time. It's not that you're not an option or you're not important. No, it's just that different meals come at different times, and different people like different functions in their meal. There are actually some people who enjoy the fact that they get some time away alone. She says, hey, after all the pressure this guy puts me under, Christmas me niko peke yangu nikirelax. I'll get ready for him next year. So for me, it's the choices you make. I don't see it as options and priorities. I think it's just that if that's the life you've chosen, get the best you can out of that kind of life you've chosen.
Right, and just a reminder, you can talk to us using the hashtag Power Breakfast. You can also SMS us on 22422 if you know somebody, if you're going through it yourself. Come on, all of a sudden, simu zako hazishikwi, blue tick.
Yeah.
I taught guys a WhatsApp tip, and I'll tell you that tip, that you know that somebody has read your message. Hata kama kuna tick moja.
For real?
Yes, sir.
You got to tell me this
I'm
one.
going to tell it to you.
Igora.
Why? Yeah, Igora.
Yeah.
But accept reality. Me, I think it's just about accepting reality, and that's my point of view. And there's nothing wrong with both sides.
So there are two things that will happen here. Like basketball, so there are two things involved. So either one, somebody is going to find out during the season.
Yeah.
Or they knew from the get-go, like from January. Mimi, nakwanga tu January to kauda November hivi. And then from November to January, we take a 2-month break.
Yeah.
So that happens.
Yeah, I mean, January, of course, you know, because things are tight. Someone is paying for school fees here. I mean, it's just in January. Just sit down, be humble.
Right.
It starts picking up from February because, you know, Valentine's, and then after that, you know, it moves on. But at the end of the day, for me, what's really striking about this conversation we're having is that we're talking it like we're talking
normal.
lightly. It's a light conversation, but the reality is this
It's
is
a real
actually what's
conversation.
going on. There's someone who's waking up today and going like, oh my God, I've noticed that the conversation has been slowing down since December rolled in, and the guy has been telling me that he's been traveling, and I've actually bumped into him once or twice in a mall. What's going on? You're now discovering that you're actually you're a side piece, and we're not just talking about, I know it's interesting that we're only talking about like females being the, you know, the discovery of this. There's some guys who are also discovering that right now.
Why do we keep using that word? You see, again, me, I'm saying.
Ati how? Oh, so you think ladies are the ones who can be side piece?
Yeah, they're the main ones.
Pia may discover that he's a side piece.
No, you know, with men it's pretty much obvious. From the time you enter that decision, there's a form you sign. Unaingia kama nini?
36.
When you kumeza ama wakutafuna.
Wait, so let me get this straight. So you guys think that ladies cannot actually play guys without them knowing that they're
the
being
difference is, guys, you see the guy men know their role. Clearly,
no, wait, I'm just asking.
Yes.
Most of the
you
time.
have to tell me that it's possible. Like, you don't think that a lady can actually be playing more than 2-3 guys, and you don't know.
No, playing
And these 3 guys don't know.
Yeah.
Wait. No, go ahead, Roy.
No. You know the guy.
I feel
let me tell you,
I know. I'm like,
let me see who's confused us there. Because there are different aspects.
This is what is happening. There are some guys right now who are discovering that they're side pieces.
No, what's happening is guys always know there's another person. What they don't know is who it is. They know. You know what we've done is we've learned to condition ourselves, and we say, sio mimi peke yangu, sio mimi peke yangu, sio mimi peke yangu. Every day, 3 times a day before meals. Yeah, you make sure you condition yourself. So the day it comes, palpitations is really embarrassing. What is going to shock you always is like, Kupe was friend, my best friend. That's the problem.
Yes.
That's why guys have an issue. But in terms of knowing, they know. I think what is interesting, as Sheila said, is the reality is this period of time is going to have these divisions. But I don't know if it's a win-lose kind of situation. You cook the food, deal with it. When side chicks are there wondering why or side guys are there wondering why have I been left out of this thing, I still don't understand how you're saying, I didn't know it was an option, or I didn't know this or that and that, or I can't come to terms with this is where I sit. It's sad every year for you. That's where it is, because that's the lifestyle you've chosen. Once you've chosen the lifestyle, be very comfortable with it.
But also, I think if also in terms of option and priority, I feel like we're discussing it like it's a bad thing, you know?
That's what I'm saying.
It's not really a bad thing, because at the end of the day, I mean, if you're in that kind of organized situation, where you know that, okay, December, she's going away with the family and you're left there by yourself, chances are you've been also hooked up. You have your key plans for Christmas, you're going to Costo, you're going to Seychelles,
but they're not real.
But you that's your free time. It's like going on leave.
Okay,
but let me ask, first of all,
can I just say one thing?
Like you're not working.
You know, I like the way she's using things like you're going on holiday, you've been taken out this, you've been given this. You gain material things. Why? To cover you from the reality. Right? Remember, in 2 things there, people want to live in reality and people want to live in denial. Those are 2 types of lives. And that's why I keep saying, is one an option and one the priority? And no, one is just reality and one is fantasy. Which world do you want to live in? And that's one of the main decisions we take in life. Early in life, we have to make a decision. Me, I enjoy fantasy. And that's the life I'm going to live. I'll always be in denial about the real situation. I don't have a real relationship. I don't have real friends, real commitments. Yeah, everything I live around is fantasy. So I can't choose. I want only the good parts of fantasy, and the horrible parts of it I'll not accept it. The same way we go to the other family who are living the real world. They have chosen to be part of the real world. They've made commitments. Some of them have gone to church. Some of them have gone to a witch doctor. I don't know. But then the thing is, they're living a real life. Those ones have decided, I am going to take the real. So you take the good real part, the good parts of real life, and the bad parts of real life. It's just reality and fantasy.
But I like the way Roy is bringing it out. You know, it's like the lady, or the person who's on the side is now just like discovering that they're not a priority or not an option.
No, they're not. I agree with you that
this is something you went in here knowing
that's
this is who I am and this is what I'm getting out of it. But most importantly, is even as much as it's real and fake, right? It's
No,
the
I
thing
didn't say fake. I said fantasy. To me, fantasy.
It's okay.
December fake.
Even if it's
Like
fantasy, the only person it's a
Matawao.
fantasy for is the person who's trying to balance a real and a fantasy life.
Right.
For me, this is real. This is really in terms of, I know that the only thing I'm getting out of you is you're getting maybe emotional, like it's something that helps you deal with your relationship. But me, I know I'm in it. It's not a stressful situation. I get what I need from it, and you can go and be with your family. And keep in mind that maybe I'm taking leave from like 5 or 6 other people who are taking care of me. You're not the only one. You understand? So you are going on leave for, you go and spend time with your family to Patane February.
Yes.
Yeah. So
those are the fantasies they tell
I have 2
themselves.
questions though. One is that because I mean there are some pretty convincing guys, and now that Sheila's brought it up, girls as well. So for some people, the reality is they've known year round, like you're saying, like they've known this, we're done. I have a good guy, introduce them to the parent. I have a good girl, introduce them to the parents, etc. And then now they're realizing during this festive season, communication is stopping. We're not seeing each other as much, and then it's going to do love to I'm busy. Oh my God, I've been forced to work during
nimegongwa na gari
XYZ.
mpaka June next year.
Yeah, and then they realize that okay, kumbe I was just playing settle for second.
Again,
It could be
Yeah.
that we have strict and stringent family
Values.
celebrations where we don't involve strange. So until we put a ring on it.
idea.
Willis, I struggle
what I'm
about
trying to
this
say-
double life story you're telling. Let Sheila finish.
What I'm trying to
but I
say
struggle
is the fact that you can even allow
Yeah.
that such ideas that someone can tell you that I'm busy, or my boss has sent me to Marsabit. I'm just thinking the farthest place I can think of.
Wrong guy.
Wrong guy. You understand? And you're like, oh, okay, then be well. And then they're telling you, let's meet in January, bro.
But you
Festive
see-
season is about being together. It's about bringing family together. It's about. I mean, think
it's
about it.
not
How many
about that.
plans have you been called for as December has
Aye,
started?
1,000.
That's what I'm saying. So all of a sudden, like people who are not calling in January, February because people are grinding, all of a sudden in December they start making phone calls. So there's nothing, nobody can tell you that all of a sudden they're busy in December. That means A, that person doesn't want to introduce you to their family, or B, they have a family.
No. They actually, no, Sheila, honestly, people can be busy, but we know the majority are not. It's possible.
Unless that person is
No,
works
no,
as
no.
Santa
Or in the
mall.
media.
No.
Or but I know the
Or
only
a
person
doctor.
who's really busy is
You know, it was
Santa.
super hustle. Imagine super hustle.
Nothing like that.
Kuna wale wanapumzika
PhD
kama
nazi.
Tyler Perry wanapumzika
Yeah.
January to April.
Yeah.
Let me just say this, Willis, yeah? Let's stop living in denial. I'm struggling to think about this double life where this guy has convinced you that your top priority, and is managing to actually divide attention with what really he lives with for 70% of the time, and he gives you this 30%, and somehow you have not seen that double life being led. I think when people enter a lot of these relationships, the majority, they already know what's going on.
Yeah.
What happens is you are denying, you're struggling with the issue, and you're struggling to contend with it. What I argue that you should do is decide whether you want it or not. Don't deny it. Yeah, because you're struggling to say I'm not going to accept it, because at one point you'll have to accept that role. There are people Kenyans were very enterprising. You want to do 16 biasharas, you have a boarding school, you have a salon, you've got a gymnastics class somewhere.
All in one
Cool
place.
hustle,
Yeah,
bro.
and nakuza exercise books. Na pia unauza mbuzi at the same time, right? You want to do everything. But you don't want to accept the responsibilities of the decisions we take. We have to stop struggling that with anything we chase, pursue, and want, because we're very enterprising in pursuing, we don't want to accept what comes with it. If this is the life you've chosen, stop being in denial about the results of the life you've chosen. And we're saying the option, we're not looking at it from both ways. Because also the reality during Christmas sometimes loses. They're like, now, this is the only time I'm going to see this bugger. We have to go to the shags. We have to chill. Maybe they're also not enjoying it. Maybe the chicken Seychelles is the one she's traveled even farther. She's now in holiday in Rungai. Right?
Farther than Seychelles.
She's gone farther than Seychelles. Maybe she's the one who's enjoying. Right?
Right.
I'm saying the enjoyment can come from either side at either time. But remember, with each choice in life, the real, or you have chosen to live the dream, the fantasy, all of them will have a positive and a negative moment. Because at the point where the negative one gets hurt, the moment you have a double life.
So what do you
That's
do?
gonna happen.
What do you do?
Now what you do is you accept.
Who's having a double life?
The one who's
The one who's you
Let me tell you why
sat there,
both-
invested in a relationship, and then all of a sudden in December you've realized that
It's the guy is having the double.
I'm actually not in a relationship. I am a side piece of an actual relationship. I'm actually part of building another
You're in
relationship.
someone's double life. You see,
So-
once
so-
you are a victim of a double life.
so
you're
you're
a
the victim.
Of a yes,
Okay.
you're a victim of a double life, right? You can also end up being someone who's also leading a double life, because if you're a victim of a double, the chances are it attracts you to also, it's a ripple effect. Against a double life, peer route has a double life, because you're not with the person 100% of the time. So that means even you have to have two lives.
No. Now stop there, Roy.
A lot of times, I'm not saying it has to happen.
That's not what.
I'm saying a lot happens like that. What ends up happening is, because she's with him during Christmas, and I mean during the year, then at certain points in the year, he doesn't give her as much attention. She has to find something else to take her attention. It doesn't necessarily mean it's another Jama, but she'll have to live another life where it's either in solitude or with someone else.
So let's do this, yeah? If this December you find yourself being an afterthought, yeah? An
not an
option.
afterthought.
It's an afterthought. The
Japan.
fact
You have a
that-
thought, but the thought has been postponed.
yeah. What I'm saying is, if you wake up this December and find, okay, actually, this is not a relationship, and there's actually the main person somewhere. Look, these things are happening. There's a guy in Uganda, was it this weekend, who married 3 wives. 3 wives.
Upon the same
in
time.
one ceremony.
Almost said one city.
You understand? In one ceremony. So these things are possible.
Are those women side
They're
hustled?
These are all his wives. He just decided, since I don't have money, let me marry together.
Why-
And he sat
why
them
we-
down
why we
and they
have-
agreed.
There's somebody who says here is Anaitwa Lindelan and someone, please tell Roy, wounded lions can be the most deadly.
Dangerous.
Yes, we know.
So
Now you
imagine-
see, now you're going out of revenge. Okay, you're a wounded lion. So who are you punishing as the wounded lion?
So you'll end up punishing yourself.
You punish yourself.
Right.
That's the problem with that. I am saying, as you go in and you get the wounds, you knew in advance what you're going into. You're going into the forest. You're expecting them that guys are coming to dance.
But Roy, let's
This
begin.
is man eat woman, man eat friend, man eat whatever it
No,
is.
this is
Man
man
eats
eats
There's a lot of
general
eating
situation.
going on.
Man eats.
And you have agreed, man, it is generally society. So when you have entered, I have a problem. I keep saying is that us guys like the good sides, and we're not ready to take the things that come with it. Any of the choices we have always has a good and a bad, but reality has more good than bad. That's the difference. The fantasy life has less good. That's only difference. But once you have chosen one, if you like that 30% good and 70% bad, take it, run with it.
But Roy, let's.
But don't come here and let's sit here and have a discussion about how sad you are over Christmas. You chose that.
But some people don't
Some
know.
people exactly, and
There are so few who don't know.
But
Actually,
there are
the
still
majority, the majority
Actually,
are now
okay.
discovering. Imagine, no,
The
in fact,
majority.
Let me tell you something, Roy. You know, you're always the word. This is the last show of the year. I gotta be honest. What happened to kutetea machali even when they're doing something wrong?
I do.
The
Roy
reality-
lives the way too.
Roy, let me ask you a question. How many times have you had a situation where a lady has gone to a wedding? You've been invited to a wedding, you guys. You guys, you've come through. You're like, oh, Nani. Okay, I don't really know her. I meet her once in a while in the club, but I mean, it's her wedding, and it's a nice time to wear a nice dress and go out there
Lego.
and shop. You guys, you get there, and you sit in the pews, and the guy who's getting married is the same guy who was texting you last night and say, good night, darling. Let's talk on Monday because I'm going on a business trip. Business trip. What business are we? The guy is getting married. You've just discovered that. Is this you've had stories like that? So the guys are really sleek. Very, very
You know,
sleek.
she didn't invest.
Very
One time I
sleek.
think guys are sleek, and then may I say
It's the
women are,
truth.
I support women most of the time. I don't know why she's doing it. I say women are very sleek. They're devious. They're
but
they're
this
capable of
situation-
more if they want to.
But Roy,
Women
what
are
you
just
said
more
is-
genuine. That's why I'm saying when you've made a good woman evil, my God, she takes it to another level.
No.
Because
Roy.
women are genuinely good.
Like that, this one who
Roy,
show
you're
up at the
missing,
wedding. We
you're
are quite
missing the
evil.
point. Yeah.
Now
The
what you
point
change,
is-
that wounded animal will come out.
The point is, you're talking about the few people who have gotten in the situation knowing that they're a
That
side
they're a
piece.
side-
I think they're majority.
Those are not the ones we're talking about.
Yeah, but I've just said those
Those
are
are
the
not-
majority.
those are not the ones
Don't
we're
you
talking
know?
about.
Let me tell you why I'm
Because,
insisting.
hold on, Roy. Because the topic here is option or priority. Okay? For those who have just discovered.
Okay,
in
we're
December,
discovering. Yeah.
those are the ones we're talking about. We're not talking about the ones who made the
The ones who
investment.
enjoy your story,
We're not
yeah.
giving people who made an option or a priority
Yeah.
advice. They know what they're doing.
Uh-huh.
The ones we're
Good.
talking about are the ones who all of a sudden, now is when they're starting to get a bit of a sense of, okay,
What's happening?
I might not be, they might be something.
So what's the question?
So
Whether
the question is,
how they handle it. Goodness, guys. Then that was when you have gotten to decision time. You're now going to decide whether you want reality or fantasy. That's it. That's all where you are. You're just in standard 1. Other guys are on form 6 of the relationship. They have been playing each other like this for the last 5-6 years. They have 3 kids. They even look like steps. You know. So then they have dealt with it. You who's a newbie into this game, you're new in the game. This is the time. This December is your time to make that decision. Take this time out, at least your Indian court time, to decide, okay, I've been played, deal with it. Then ask yourself, now, there could be a situation where I am okay with the fantasy. So you say, I found out, compensate. Nipatia only the Seychelles Marambili, 1 Rongai, and 2 Dubais to go.
this guy can be a slave
Right?
queen.
Yeah? Proper. You decide, you give the menu, and you send it to him. Or you decide you're going to go for your reality, which usually has bigger wins in the end. You know the problem with fantasy? It always looks good short term. Because it's very easy for you to feel sad, and then he calls you and says, you know what, I'll compensate. I'm sorry I can't spend this time. That's where the decision is made of whether you're going to be what you're calling an option outside.
You know, even if you're telling this lady to leave this situation.
No, she makes a decision. I didn't say leave. Maybe
Whatever,
give a decision.
whatever situation, whether she stays or leaves, the big question here is, lakini, what is the way forward? Because now there are ladies who are just discovering right now, maybe even they have kids or whatever, and now they're just discovering, oh my God.
As in, it could be deeper.
My
It
God.
could be deeper than those who are just discovering. It could
They're
be
light one. It could be a deeper relationship.
It could be even deeper as to this is the Christmas you discover your husband has another
A
family.
family,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
This
So
is the Christmas,
there's a
so these
bigger
are-
issue here.
Now, those
There's
are
a bigger
different.
issue here.
They're
because
different.
This is,
Invested relationships are very different from these kind of light relationships where we're talking about we're going out and you discover there are something that are at different levels. If I discover and it's a light relationship, then you decide whether you want reality or you want fantasy. Make the decision. None of them will be wrong. You just decide which one you want to swallow. So, if you have had a deeper one where actually that one you've been swung another dummy, you've just gone and found your bank has been robbed, the guy has been digging across Thika Road for I don't know how long, and he's going with the chums, right? That's a very horrible and sad place to be, because you know it's taken a while. You build that kind of relationship, and you're saying, well, what I've invested, it might be too late for me to just throw it away. Yeah. Now this is where you begin to make what we call compromises, or you begin to have discussions, right? You know, there are times when we look at our last election and we have to decide, we have to talk about when do we have negotiations, because at some point,
That's a big issue.
yes, it's a big issue. At some point, some people feel it's too early, it's too late. You have to decide at what stage have I reached where it's worth negotiating and having a conversation and sitting down with someone and saying, now I now know that we are two. Where do I sit? And how candid is it about where I sit? And sometimes I believe, let me tell you this, Willis, 80% of where you sit in a relationship will come from you. Not from asking the other person where you sit in their relationship. So I've just said, it's time for you to take stock and decide where you feel you sit, not where you're going to be told you sit. Yeah? So it's up to you.
I just feel like
It's sad. I'm not saying it's
always
sad.
always at the end of these conversations, it's always women who are having to.
Did I say that? Wait, have I not been women?
No. But what are you saying? So you're saying the women should.
I've not said anything about women.
It could be men or
Shirley,
women.
don't try and corner me.
It's always the victim who
She's
says.
just pushing me into corners consistently.
It's always the women. Like
When you
now,
say men, do you mean women? Like
When you say women, are they men and women?
men, like women without the
When you say
way.
women, are they men?
Men.
No, for real though, seriously, yeah. I think at some point, maybe Man Cave season 2, we need to start addressing. I mean, we really need to get to the morsel of stuff, which is why we've been discussing the whole year about this issue of let's agree that men are polygamous, that you have to have more than one situation.
Don't have to.
You don't have to.
It is almost an inevitable.
No. We tell
no.
the truth. Talk of always
Reality or fantasy?
Fantasy. It's majority.
No. You see, me, I think the fantasy part is the part where we're trying to tell someone that you should be with one person, when the reality is, when you go out there, you're trying to sample everything on Thika Road.
Can I
Is that
tell you what
you
the
said?
problem is?
We have tried to sample everything on Thika Road.
I just said you dug across Thika Road.
Yeah.
That's all I did.
The reality of stuff is that maybe we just need to be realistic about some of these things.
You know what
I'm
Sheila
telling
has to
you.
But you
accept?
see, well,
Sheila has to accept that the difference between men and women is very basic. And you will see why men are more polygamous in one basic stance on what I keep talking about today, reality and fantasy. Men are okay. They like to delve in fantasy quite a bit. They like to deal with what they are and what they could be and what they could be enjoying. That's why you find men watching sports. Because sports is a different world they transform themselves into, where everything works out.
Women also watch reality shows.
Now, what are they called? Reality shows. Women contend and like things that are closer to the real situation.
And reality
the majority of time.
Real things.
Yeah? Closer to, I said closer to. Reality TV might not be real, but it tries to replay real life. So what ends up happening is women get closer to real things because women can deal and manage the real. Men, every time the real gets complicated, what do? Jump into the fantasy, put on the TV and watch football. Let's go and start fooling around with life. So that's why the difference is you will have more men who are polygamous because they want to live a bit of real and enjoy the fantasy. Women are okay with dealing with the real and the responsibilities that come with it.
Me, I'm all about solutions. Yeah. So someone has woken up today and has found out, okay, actually, you know what? Option or priority, I think I'm an option. Now what do I do? Okay. For them, I really don't have any advice. But I want you guys to help us with the guys who are leaving women in this situation.
Here's one.
Give them some advice.
There is somebody here who is called Kamau N. Morris or Kamau D33.
Hey, that's a rap group.
That's his, yeah. He says, I think we should reevaluate our lives daily on short-term goals we place for ourselves. Then he repeats, daily. So he's saying that siku wake up to Said December unakuwa na what inaitwa msemanyo, unajiita msemanyo. You call yourself to a meeting and think, okay, so this thing, what is it going, how is it going? All right, cool.
You have a meeting with yourself.
However, there are situations that life throws you out. Like when you are sure that this is going this way, then you just realize that oops, you know, like you're saying, maybe like you're saying, people are waking up and realizing, oh my god, okay, I think I'm an option. In that regard, the solution, I think, should be what Roy was talking about. Take a moment,
have a meeting with yourself,
deal with the situation, and then make a decision to move on. Now, unfortunately, people could make the decision to wanaingia sasa wounded lion mode.
Which is very dangerous.
At the end of the day,
you hurt yourself
further. So you just need to.
It's quoted even in the Bible. So it's your right as a woman to be, if you abscond, to abscond normal life and just go in.
Where?
But
it's
called the woman's right. But here's the thing. You see, we're talking about the victim, and the victim should do this and do that. Me, I'm talking about the aggressor. Yeah. You know that you're being double dealing. You know you're in a situation.
The solution is stop double dealing.
No, the solution is if you're going to go to December and you know that you're going to be scarce. Yeah. What you need to do is leave things organized. Don't just disappear. Leave things organized.
Okay. Final comments.
Just leave things organized. If you're going to leave me in a trip in Mozambique, niendange nikifanya hivyo around the world, nikirudi things are back to normal.
Yes, but I'm saying you're talking about leaving things organized. It depends on where you are in the.
No. I don't know to be.
What level you've been at?
Still, anasema hivyo with a very cheeky look on her face, but it's okay.
But I've seen her choosing countries here.
Mozambique, Seychelles.
Mozambique.
What do you want me to say? Uganda.
Yeah. You see, laugh at another country like it can't be a holiday.
No, it's a landlocked, my friend.
When you're landlocked, you can't have a holiday.
Exactly.
And a shout out to the people who are watching from Uganda, but you ain't coming there for holiday.
By the way, yes.
East Africa was meant to be united. Anyway, fact remains. I think, as I'm saying, is deal and choose the life you want to live. If you're going to live in the world of fantasy, if you're going to live in a world of reality, right? And with every life choice you've made, please accept the blows that come with it. Don't expect you're going to have the good parts of that choice and there are not going to be any repercussions about it. Reality has its repercussions, fantasy has its repercussions. I still believe reality has less repercussions than the fantasy world. All I'm saying is the relationship you choose to have with someone, accept what it is and stop being in denial of what it is and holding the person who's on the other side fully responsible. You have a huge role to play in the chaos or in the progress of your life. Stop holding other people responsible. It's just someone wants to be part of your life. decide the role you want them to play in your life.
I like that. I like that. For me, I think, especially to all the young women, because it's usually young women who are okay with being, or you thought you were okay with being a side piece, and now December or this festive season is making you realize that you're probably not comfortable with this situation. I think this is a good time for you to make that decision not to be with people who are not available. You deserve better. If someone is not going to be available for holidays and the things that, and holidays is usually time for sharing love, and if that person is not there for you and that you're uncomfortable in that situation, I think this is a good time to make a change. Yeah.
All right. Of course, that's exactly where we end and say, yeah.
I can't shout shauri yako from now.
No, you can't.
Okay.
You make that change, and always don't go anywhere where you're an option. Always go to the places where you're a priority and where you're celebrated and not tolerated. Right, that is it for Man Cave. Tutakutana next year. Tutakuwa na bigger and better. Yeah. And so tunaimba TV. We'll see you guys next year with this amazing panel. Hopefully Pastor Kwiri will be back from Tanzania. So it's a wonderful day.
Has he been working?
Speaking of kuweka vitu juu, we are talking about nail care and tunaweka gel juu. So hata kama wewe usiwekwe juu kwa relationship, kwa tu real nail. Anyway, over to Joey and Anne to wrap up the conversation.